And we're just going to do a bit of exploration here during the safety of daytime. We still have a little bit of daylight left. And so while the world is still relatively safe, we'll go explore these caves. And looks like we found a good one. This one really goes down, and usually pretty close to your base you're going to find a cave like this where you can really kind of do a good job of exploring a deeper cave. The other ones we saw were quite small, so this one, I don't know how deep it'll go. It might go quite deep. But for now, we're just going to be opportunistic. I see some tin ore. While we bide our time in the soon-to-be-here nighttime, we're going to want to do some crafting. So I'm going to try to dig up as much ore as possible while the sun is shining. Again, use your ropes. That way you can descend safely and reascend if you need to. Looks like there's a little bit extra tin there. Alright, so this cave is continuing down. As I suspected, it's non-trivial. It carries on. Let's not bypass this chest. Let's see what we've got. We got a wooden boomerang. I'm not a huge fan of these, but I'll save it because I intend to sell it once I have the merchant. This is good. We've got some lead bars. More rope. I'm not going to turn that down. More healing potions. And then an iron skin potion. Just for later reference, iron skin potions are good through the entirety of the game. Even in the end game, you're probably going to want to drink an iron skin potion before a boss fight. So pretty much every boss fight, save an iron skin potion before it. You can keep one in your chest at the headquarters. Keep them as you find them and just draw from your reserve of them whenever you're ready for a boss fight. So bear that in mind. So let's continue exploring. Oh, look, another chest. The game does throw you some bones early on. We got some bottles. Those are used in crafting. We got a shine potion. Not very useful, but even if you don't intend on using things like these throwing knives, go ahead and take them, especially early on. They're useful, if anything else, just to sell to the merchant once he arrives. We're obviously a long way from getting 50 silver, but once he does arrive, we can really start to accumulate wealth by selling a lot of the things we find in the world. And you'll note, since I'd equipped that accessory in the last video, I really equipped it just for the damage boost, but it does allow you to collect free rope whenever you chop vines, so watch this. If I didn't have that equipped, I wouldn't get these vines, but since I do, these vines function the same way as regular rope does. So if you're short on rope, this is a useful accessory. Probably only early on in the game is when you'll find the use for it, but that's also when you find it. So it's a good little accessory, and that's why I have it equipped. So here we got some more tin ore. I think we're going to do some good crafting tonight. Let's dig all of this out. I have a feeling the night is about to arrive, so we don't have too much more time before we'll need to return to the base. Now, the effects of nighttime aren't as pronounced underground. The underground is fairly consistent in its difficulty. It's more of an above-ground problem. But at any rate, nighttime is as good a time as any to return and start doing some crafting. So let's dig all this tin ore up. We should have quite a bit of tin ore by the time we return to base. Before we drop down, let's put some more of this rope. Very good. Alright. And you can go up and down ropes like this. You're going to be using it a lot early on. Let's get some more items from these chests. If we have any chests. No, just pots. Alright, we're going quite deep here. And the deeper you get in Terraria, by the way, the tougher the enemies get. You go through these different biomes the deeper you go. You start in what's called the surface biome, and as you go deeper, you go into the underground and caverns layer, and then eventually, as you'll see very much later on, kind of a magma-filled chamber at the bottom of the world. But we're a long way from that, so you don't really have to worry about it quite yet. And you can hear the nighttime music, so we're already in the nighttime, so I'm about to return to the base. I just want to do a little bit more exploring since I'm already all the way down here, but I think I'm kind of near the end of my daily exploration. Let's go ahead and place some torches. You can jump across here. And let's just see if there's anything else useful I can get before returning to base. I'm not going to use any kind of platforms or rope around here. I can easily jump across these chasms. if you find yourself in a pit like this, you can either jump out, or if you can't jump out, just go ahead and apply some rope, so like that, and you can just come right back out. So this is why keeping some rope around is very useful. Alright, you've probably seen this already, and I haven't mentioned this yet, but these little heart crystals you'll find throughout the world. You're gonna want to get them as you come across them. What do they do? Well, look up here. You have 100 life. If you use the life crystal, now you have 20 more life. And you can do this up to a certain point, and past a certain point they no longer have any effect. You hear that noise? That's one of these worms. These are going to be a pain in your rear end for a while until you get stronger. But you can kind of tell from audio cues when they will strike, so you can kind of time their attack. They start to pick up in crescendo right before the attack comes, like so. And you can kind of time it and figure them out, so don't be too freaked out by them. We're going to dig up this lead ore. Alright, I think I'm pretty much near the tail end. I'm not even going to bother with that. Alright, what you just saw there was a trap. This is something you're going to have to be vigilant about. Whenever you see one of these things here, it's a dart trap. Dart traps are going to be a major thorn in your side, at least early on. What they're activated by rather, are pressure plates, which you can't really see too easily in the world. I think there's one here and one there. The visual cues for these pressure plates are quite subtle, and so usually I just try to dig out these dart traps before I stand on the pressure plates. Yeah, that's a pressure plate. And there's another dart trap over here. We can't see it, but we can see this pressure plate. So let's go ahead and dig it out just to deactivate it. And now we can walk safely and figure out where that other dart came from. It's over here. It's a little hard to see, but there it is. So, things are getting a little hairy now. I think I'm probably going to use a recall potion momentarily. Let me just get my revenge on this guy, then I'll recall back to base. Alright, I got him. So again, I think I'm kind of near the exploration of this, end of the exploration of this cave at this point. I've certainly done good work for day one in this cave. You'll have all the time in the world really to explore it at your leisure. But this is a good demonstration of just how deep these caves can go. This really isn't that deep either in the grand scheme of things. So this is a very large world. You do have the option of building a world in different sizes when you start, as you've undoubtedly discovered. But they do go deep even in the small world. So what I just dug up there were sapphires. You'll note some slightly discolored blocks here and there around the world. Those are precious gems, and they can be used both for crafting and for selling to the merchant. So they're very good to dig up. I always like to keep a stash of them in my treasure chest back at base. But let's go back to base, speaking of the base. Alright, so we're back in the base, we're safe and sound. But what's this outside the door? This is a fallen star. And so go ahead and collect these as you come across them. You can use them as ammunition and crafting equipment later on. We'll get into that at the appropriate time, but for now, just know that when you see them, go ahead and collect them, because they're good to have. I think this is probably a pretty good stopping point in the video. If you look at the inventory screen, you can see just the potpourri of items I've acquired in that fairly brief exploration run into the cave. We've got dart traps, pressure plates, 2 more chests, and you can never have enough chests, and just a myriad of other things, ore, new bars. Let's go ahead and smelt those while we're here. And once those are done, I think we can probably call it a night. You see now I've got 20 tin bars and a total of 12 lead bars. And so I won't build anything yet. But looking ahead, what can we get? Well, there's a lead anvil, and this will even further enhance our crafting capabilities. For a lead anvil or an iron anvil, you're going to need 5 bars of lead or iron, respectively. I guess we can go ahead and build one right now, and I really just did that to show you how the crafting system in Terraria really opens up with the more crafting stations you get. I said in the last video that the crafting table was the beginning of your crafting experience. From that you could build the furnace that lets you smelt more, and from that you can build the anvil, which lets you build metal items, particularly armor and weapons. And so, well, what I'm using now, a 7 damage wooden sword, and just as a demonstration, if we were to make a tin broadsword, that does 9 damage. I don't have quite enough lead for the lead broadsword, but I'd imagine it will probably do something like 11 melee damage instead of the wooden sword 7. So once I get a little bit more lead, I'm definitely going to build one of those, but that's a discussion for a future video. So anyway, thanks for watching. I hope what I talked about in this video was insightful, or at least somewhat clear-headed. So here we go, let's open the door, and you can see if we do open the door in this game, there's not as much knockback as I need to keep them at bay by constant swings, so you do have to retreat. But there we go. We've cleared the door a little bit. Anyway, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. I'll be continuing this game in the future videos, so stay tuned to the playlist, and I will see you next time.